February the 14th. I'm sitting in for Colin Cowherd. I'm now standing up and stretching my legs. I brought back out my American flag. Christine Leahy, Chris Broussard here with me. I am going back to LeBron James. I'm sorry for dwelling on this topic, but it speaks to me on so many different levels. And so Chris and or Christine, I want you to respond to this. Listen, my point about LeBron James that I don't think people are getting. His athletic privilege and wealth define him more than the poverty and or racism that he experienced growing up. And therefore, if you buy that, you'll understand my analogy of why I say he's no different than Donald Trump. Both privileged and wealthy, and privilege and wealth define them more than whatever obstacles they overcame. And yes, LeBron grew up with some poverty, no question about it. I'm sure he experienced racism at some level, maybe. But when you're that athletic and gifted, America covers its eyes and all it sees is green. And so, I'm not trying to diminish LeBron James. I'm trying to explain to you who it is you're listening to. An elite. He's been elite damn near since he was old enough to talk.
Oh, come on.
He was a pot of gold discovered in the hood in Akron. And people ran in with Hummer cars and whatever else they could to help him out of that situation. And so, again, my point, and this is why it's a big point for me, Chris, as African Americans, we spend too much time, in my opinion, focusing on the negative rather than our blessings. And we think the negative defines who we are. Oh, it's so racist here in America. Oh, you can't do nothing here in America. That's who we are. We're victims. Instead of acknowledging, if I look around the globe, we are blessed to be born into the greatest country in the history of the world, perhaps. Certainly the greatest country going right now, and certainly the country that if you're black, you have the best chance of moving up to the middle class or the upper class. Show me somewhere on the planet that does it better than America, and then I'll buy it. And this isn't me. Yes, I am caping up for America, damn it. That's why I got the flag around me. Because you ain't gonna never get me to be ashamed of being an American and for understanding if I chop wood, I can make it somewhere here in America, and I'm blessed to be here. And so is LeBron James.
You said so much that there is to respond to. Number one, you're using LeBron James as the example for all African Americans. LeBron James was blessed. How many African Americans are blessed with that type of ability?
Hey, that's my point.
I'm not so much concerned about the African American that can run a 4.3 40 or has a 40-inch vertical leap or is 6'8", 260 pounds. What if you're not blessed with that? What if you're just a normal African American person? You're not fast, you can't jump.
Like you.
You know, but there are a lot of them that don't have the opportunities. You can't deny that
this is the land of opportunity.
It still has its issues and its problems.
Listen, I know there's negative. I know there's negative.
You love Michelle Alexander's book,
Love her to death.
As do
yes,
I.
Lord.
That book tells you about the structural and racial inequality.
I'm not in denial.
Black kids aren't smoking weed anymore than white kids. They're actually using drugs overall less than white kids. But let's go down to the Los Angeles, to the San Diego, to the Cleveland, to the Newark, to the Detroit Juvenile Detention Center. And guess what? It's going to be 80 to 90% poor black kids, a lot of them for drug crimes, that white kids in the suburbs are getting a slap on the wrist and being able to go and claim affluenza and everything's fine. So you can't, just because I don't think of myself as a victim. I do look at it optimistically, but that doesn't mean I can't at the same time point out the wrongdoing and the racism.
Chris, you're preaching to the choir. So there's not a sports writer in America that has written more or has even addressed these issues. I've been addressing them for years. Before, and I love Michelle Alexander, before her book, I was knee-deep in this issue with Jim Brown and America I Can, wrote about it for Playboy. I get it. Again, that's like when the whole Black Lives Matter thing was all the rage in the country. Lived it with my own family. And I'm watching people that haven't been touched by police misconduct cape up like they're the experts on it, and they know how to fix it, and all the police are all bad. It's much deeper than that. And so again, it's all about a point of view that we're going to have to learn to adopt again, because we used to have this mentality. Eyes on the prize. You know,
I agree that I think personally, we as African Americans, for all the blessings we've had over the last 40, 50 years, we've certainly come up more financially. We certainly have more superstars. We're certainly more a part of the mainstream America. But I believe personally, we were stronger people 50 years ago. Our family structure was much stronger, and we did have more of an optimistic viewpoint. In the face of more oppression. Now, that said, so I do think we need to get back. The church was more foundational in our community, and our family structure, as I said, was there. But that said, that doesn't mean we can't point out the wrongdoing that exists. See, that's my problem with liberals. Only want to focus on the systemic problems, the systemic racism, and not talk about what African Americans can do for themselves.
Thank you. No,
and conservatives only want to talk about the problems of African Americans. Well, if y'all would do this, if y'all would do that, y'all be better off. It's a mixture of both. We do suffer from systemic and institutional racism, as we just pointed out with the new Jim Crow. And there are things that we ourselves need to improve upon, you know, that we could do that would help us come up and be a stronger people.
This circles back to my point yesterday, and I don't know if I got you to engage on this. Look, man, the world and the United States of America is going to remain a jungle. It's a jungle. And either you're going to learn to hunt and fish, or you're going to perish. That's been the world's history from the beginning of time. And so for all the people that think they're going to take all the hardship and obstacles out of life, it ain't never going to happen.
But who's saying that?
Who's saying what?
Just because if people are pushing for more equality, that doesn't mean you don't expect to face any hardship. We want equality. African Americans literally built this country. And you comparing it to the whole world, black people all over the world have been oppressed by Europeans. Every single place. So you can't say, well, the blacks in Nigeria got it so bad, we should be happy. Well, in Nigeria, they're not colonized by Europeans too.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, and I want to drag this back to LeBron James, and LeBron James and his commercial that, to me, focuses on victimhood.
How? By saying he wants equality?
It does. And no boundaries, no lines. He's arguing that, oh, it's just so hard here in America. That's why they got the Sam Cooke song.
He's not arguing any of that. He's saying we should have equality.
And that's easy to say. How do you get there?
How do you know how we get there? We get there by, if a white kid in the suburbs is caught with weed, he gets the same punishment as the black kid in the hood. Or vice versa. If the white kid gets off, let the black kid get off. That's how you start. That's one way you start. There's much more.
Let me say this.
And because LeBron is now elite, can he not comment on, he can't fight for marginalized people?
Yes,
or make a comment for
Yes, he can. But all I want is marginalized people to understand he's an elite. It's a smokescreen. It's about business for Nike. He don't remotely fully understand. Again, he's a well-intentioned person.
Okay.
He's a well-intentioned person. But he's lived a pampered life of athletic privilege. And that's why he can't look and see your games being run on you. And it's just like I said, when Tiger Woods is on your same freedom ride bus, you ain't trying to ride to much freedom. Now I said that, and everybody knows it's factual. That was the Becky bus ride with Tiger Woods on it. Everybody knows. And so look, you've distracted me. America is great. There are problems here. LeBron James should focus on the blessings and the positives and push out much more of a message of, here are the opportunities in front of us. Let's focus on them, because the obstacles.
But Jason, he does that with his promise, I promise.
That Nike commercial was about victimhood, and it drove me crazy, and that's why his approval rating with me is down to 65%. It was 95% before he became a social justice warrior. Now it's down to 65% and sinking, because the man was blessed with so much privilege, he damn near comes off like Donald Trump to me.
I think it's admirable,
Chris.
And I'm not trying.
I gotta go.
Man.
I kept you for 3 seconds. You can't complain.
You talk for 80% of the time.
No, I didn't.
You preaching.
Yep.
I did not talk for 80%.
Chris, I got you there.
68% of the time I talk. But damn, you carried us all the way to Egypt. I wasn't trying to go to Egypt.
Hey,
Let's stay in
we
Africa.
go deep, bruh.
Put my wanted poster back up for LeBron James. 13
Bring on
years
Michelle.
old.
You should bring on Michelle Alexander.
Oh, I'd love to. Love to. Hey,
Not for a date, just to talk.
No, she's married, man. She's gotten very spiritual, but I love Michelle Alexander. All right, we gotta go. I'm Jason Whitlock. You're in the herd.
Today